how are you? I hope you all are doing well, studying well, obeying your parents and taking good care of yourself and the area around you. So children, what does this area around you mean? It means the environment that is around you. So now we are going to talk about our environment, our actions in this chapter. Okay, so we're going to learn about our environment. We're going to talk about our actions which are affecting the environment, the pollution and the concept of global warming, the greenhouse effect. Okay, so anything around us, okay, is our environment. Okay, the environment in which we live, the environment around us. So everything that surrounds around us, okay, or that is around us is all environment. Okay, so children, our immediate surroundings constitute our environment, okay, which include everything around us, that is both non-living, which is abiotic, as well as living, that is biotic components. Okay, now the abiotic components are temperature, soil, light, wind, water, etc. These are all abiotic components. And the biotic components are plants, animals, microorganisms. Okay, so these components, okay, that is temperature, soil, light, wind, water, plants, animals, microorganisms, when they all together, they form our environment. Okay, so both these abiotic and biotic components influence us, and in turn we influence the environment. Okay, so we are the only organisms who try to change the environment to fulfill our needs. Okay, so human beings especially are the only organisms, okay, who have the capability of changing the environment, okay, or utilizing things around us, okay, for our needs, to fulfill our needs. Okay, so in order to fulfill our needs, so what are our needs? Food, shelter, clothing, transport, okay, industry, etc. These are all our needs. Okay, so increase in human population, okay, and advancement in technology in the recent past have damaged the balanced and healthy environment. This environmental imbalance created by uncontrolled human activities has given rise to various environmental problems. So whatever activities these human beings are doing, okay, the increase in population, okay, the more amount of people who are there now, okay, on the surface of earth, more people, more needs, more needs, more demand, more demand, more supply. So for this supply, more destruction of the environment. Okay, now not only destruction, it leads to lot many activities, okay, which are not into control, they are uncontrollable by human activities. Okay, and that's the reason why the environmental imbalance has happened. Okay, now the prominent environmental problems. What are the prominent problems here? Waste accumulation, depletion of ozone layer, global warming, greenhouse effect, pollution and deforestation. So these are different types of impact, okay, human activity impacts on the environment. Okay, now what happens when we accumulate waste in the environment? Okay, the useless leftover or discarded materials. Okay, so materials that are of no use, okay, they are useless or they are discarded, they are termed as wastes. Okay, so any useless leftover or discarded material is called waste. Now the waste material, they can either be gaseous, that is smoke coming from chimneys of industries or automobile exhausts. Then they can be in the liquid form like the sewage, water pollutants from the industrial waste, etc. Then they can be solid waste that accumulates in the environment due to human activities. Okay, now this waste, okay, solid waste, it can further be classified into two types, which is biodegradable and non-biodegradable. So what do you mean by biodegradable waste? These waste, They are degraded by microorganisms such as bacteria and fungi. So, bacteria and fungi, they can change this waste into something that can be used, okay, and they can be converted as a resource. Resource is utilized, okay. So, now again, they are again available to autotrophs, okay. Ozone is present in the upper atmosphere and it protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiations, okay. So, between the sun, okay, and us, okay, if you look, if you have ever tried to go onto the mountain tops, okay, or areas which are like on a very higher level above the sea, okay, these mountain tops and all, if you see, the heat over there is really very scorching, okay, and that's when, because they are the ultraviolet rays of the sun are very close, okay, over there to the mountain areas and all. But when in the cities and all, okay, we don't feel those ultraviolet rays much. Why? Because because we are protected by this layer, okay, which layer of atmosphere which comes in between the rays coming from the sun and the people living on the surface, okay. So, this layer is known as the ozone layer, okay. So, ozone layer, it is present in the upper atmosphere and it protects us from the harmful ultraviolet rays. Now, the decomposition of biodegradable waste results in the production of foul smells. So, now on the biodegradable waste, flies multiply, carry the germs of various diseases, example cow dung, human excreta, leather, sewage, etc. So, although biodegradable waste, if it is used in a proper manner, okay, that means if a compost is created and used in the fields, okay, or to grow more trees and all, that is really very useful. But when this is not used in a proper manner, okay, and this waste is also gathered, you will see that there is always a foul smell in that area. You will always see there are flies, there are germs in that area, okay. So, we need to convert this biodegradable waste into something as a resource in a proper manner, in a systematic manner, okay. Now comes the non-biodegradable waste. These are mainly man-made, okay, and which they cannot be degraded. That means they cannot be decomposed, okay. They will just lie there on the surface of the earth, okay, and they will take years and years to go away from the surface of the earth. So, which is like very rare. So, like plastic and all, these are all non-biodegradable waste, okay. So, these enter into the food chains and persist in the environment for a long time. Excessive use of fertilizers, pesticides and chemical waste affect the soil fertility and reduce crop yield. Example, plastic objects, synthetic fibers, glass objects, pesticides, heavy metals, etc. These are all non-biodegradable waste, okay. Now, you have to do this activity. You have to make a compost pit. In your kitchen, your mother discards peels of vegetables and fruits and other biodegradable waste, okay. So, make a pit near your house or in the nearby garden. So, if you have any garden area near your house, okay, so you can make this pit over there. Put all these biodegradable waste in that pit and cover this pit and observe after few days. What will you observe? What happened to the biodegradable waste? You will see that it slowly and gradually it forms into a soil only, okay. The process happens on it and forms soil, which is a very good manure, okay. Now, depletion of ozone layer. Ozone is present in the upper atmosphere and protects us from the harmful ultraviolet radiations, that is the UV rays as we call it. The thinning of ozone layer is commonly called ozone depletion. CFCs, that is the chlorofluorocarbons, they are responsible for the depletion of ozone layers. CFCs, they are used in refrigerator, air conditioners, in fire extinguishers, etc. The thinning of ozone layer allows more UV radiations to pass through it. These UV radiations, they can cause skin cancer, damage to the eyes, decline in photosynthesis in plants and global warming. So, these are certain satellite pictures which are showing the hole in the ozone layer over Antarctica. Okay. So, in October 1980, if you see the way it was, okay, the ozone layer was being protected, then you can see a picture of October 1985 and then that of October 1990. So, you will see the change in the layer of the earth over a period of time. Okay. So, what is this ozone depletion? Okay. What happens, as I already explained it to you, that there is a ozone layer in the atmosphere which protects us from the harmful UV rays or the ultraviolet rays. Now, this thinning of ozone layer, okay, it is known as ozone depletion. And CFCs, okay, now there is something called CFC, which is chlorofluorocarbon, okay, and this is mainly the reason why this layer, okay, is getting depleted, okay. Now, these CFCs, where do we find them? In refrigerators, in air conditioners, in fire extinguishers and all, these layers are there. Now, when the thinning of ozone layer happens, obviously, the UV rays or the ultraviolet radiations, they get a more, they can pass through more, okay, because that layer is not there, it is being thin. Otherwise, it was a thick layer. Now, it is thinning. So, that is the reason why the ultraviolet rays are able to pass through it. Okay. Now, these radiations, they are very harmful. Okay. They can cause damage to the skin, they can result in skin cancer. Okay. Your eyes may get spoiled. So, generally when these people who go for skiing and all, if you see, they put a lot of sunscreen lotion on their face, so that they protect their skin. They try to cover their body completely. Okay, they wear jackets, they wear gloves. So, most of their body part, they avoid exposing it to the sun, so that these rays don't harm their skin. So, those areas which are open, they try to cover it with the sunscreen lotions and all. Okay. So, these are certain ways by which people are trying to protect themselves from the UV rays. But main problem is that the ozone layer is being depleted by the human activity only. Okay. So, decline in photosynthesis, it can also lead to decline in photosynthesis, okay, and global warming. So, these rays which are there, they consist of a lot of heat in it. All right. Now, the thinning of ozone layer was noted in 1980 over Antarctica. The hole continued increasing over the years. Now, what is global warming? The gases like methane, carbon dioxide, water vapor, they trap the heat of the sun and they are called greenhouse gases. These gases, they do not allow heat to escape into the space. This heat keeps the earth warm. This effect is called greenhouse effect. So, there is a rise in the temperature on the earth. This is called global warming. So, the gases, okay, which are like the methane, carbon dioxide, water vapor, what do? They trap the heat of the sun. Okay. Now, when they trap the heat of the sun, this is known as the greenhouse, they are called the greenhouse gases. Okay. They have the power, okay, potential to trap the heat of the sun, and that is why they are known as the greenhouse gases. Now, these gases, okay, they do not allow heat to escape into the space. Okay. They do not allow the heat to escape and enter the space. Okay. So, this heat keeps the earth warm. This effect is called greenhouse effect, so that there is a rise in the temperature on the earth. This is called global warming. This results into melting of polar ice, the rise in sea level and the flooding of places near the sea. In the last 100 years, The average temperature of the earth has risen by 1 degree Fahrenheit, and in the next century it may rise about 2 degrees to 6 degrees Fahrenheit. This will change the climate for the worse. Okay, that means if you see that there are certain places, okay, that generally had a temperature of around say 20-25 degrees around the year, okay, and it was like a very pleasant environment and everything was very nice. But now, as we say that these layers are being formed here, okay, there is this greenhouse effect, there is this global warming which is happening, and because of which even those cities which had the temperature of around 25-30 degrees throughout the year are now, okay, having a temperature of around 35 to 40 degrees. So slowly and gradually global warming is taking over everywhere. So the heat, okay, is like really felt a lot, okay, in certain places throughout the year. In certain places, okay, the winters have also become less. Okay, in areas which had a good winter for 3 months, now they hardly see winter for a month or two. Okay, that is also one of the reasons, okay, because of global warming, that these climatic changes are happening, and it's worsening day by day and year after year. Okay, so pollution. What do you mean by pollution? Pollution is the contamination of land, water, and air. Human activities, industries, smoke from the vehicles are the main sources of pollution. So these are there are different sources of pollution. Okay, pollution means contamination, dirtying, okay, of land, water, and air. Now, how does this get dirty? Does nature do it? No. Who does it? Humans. Okay, human activities, the industries, okay, which are being formed, the smoke coming from the industries, okay, from the vehicles, they are causing air pollution. Washing clothes, bathing animals, release of household waste, industrial waste, what do they cause? They cause water pollution. The main sources of land pollution are solid waste, refuse from forest and agriculture. Then spilling of oil or petroleum and dumping waste from factories harm the water plants and animals. When nuclear power stations produce electricity, harmful poisonous waste mixes with the air and causes nuclear pollution. The noise pollution is caused by the vehicles, aeroplanes, loudspeakers, and loud music. Okay, so these are different types of pollutions that are caused because of human activities. Okay, now deforestation. What do you mean by deforestation? That means cutting off of the forest cover. Okay, removing the forest cover. Deforestation is the removal of the forest cover by cutting down of trees. When more and more trees are cut to build flyovers, to build buildings, to build dams, to build anything that is useful for the humans but harmful to the nature, and eventually it will be harmful to the humans as well. Okay, so now what are the causes of deforestation? One, overgrazing by cattle. Okay, if the cattle keep on grazing in a particular area, okay, very soon that area will get barren and it will not be fit for cultivation. Okay, and that is the reason why it will be of no use. Okay, construction of dams, roads, railways, etc. Forest fires. Okay, these are certain reasons of deforestation. Now, maintaining ecological balance in nature. How do we maintain the balance in nature? How do we keep our environment safe? What is the action that we can take to protect our environment? Okay, so like planting trees or afforestation, that means growing more and more trees, plants everywhere. Okay, rainwater harvesting, utilizing the rainwater. Okay, this means allowing rainwater falling on roofs of houses to flow into a deep hole which is dug in the ground rather than flow off into the drains, and this water can be utilized. Okay, reduce the use of plastic bags, say no to plastic. Waste should be treated before dumping into water bodies. biodegradable waste be put into the compost pits of nature or to create manure. Tall chimneys should be fitted so that the smoke and the gases go high up in the air. Okay? Factories are to be located in areas which are away from places where people live. Save electricity by using CFL. Okay? And follow 4 R's: reuse, reduce, recycle and refuse. Okay? Now, let's revise. Our immediate surroundings constitute our environment. Abiotic factors are non-living factors, and biotic factors are plants, animals and microorganisms. Some of the environmental problems faced by us due to human actions are waste accumulation, depletion of ozone layer, global warming, greenhouse effect, pollution and deforestation. Solid waste is of 2 types, biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. CFC depletes the ozone layer, and the rise in the temperature of the earth is called global warming. Alright, so now children, let's see how much you followed the chapter. Let's do the exercises quickly. Take the correct option. Human activities lead to land pollution, air pollution or water pollution or all of the above? It is all of the above. Methane dioxide and water vapors are noble gases, greenhouse gases, natural gases or none of these. They are greenhouse gases. Which of the following gas is a greenhouse gas? CFC, oxygen, carbon dioxide or hydrogen? It is CFC. Okay. The climate of the earth is changing due to global warming, acid rain, drought or natural calamities. It is global warming. In the following groups of waste, which group contains only biodegradable waste? So, look at these different options and tell us which is a biodegradable waste which can be reused. Okay. So, DDT, iron nails, mercury, plastic, rubber, polythene, synthetic fibers, aluminium cans or pesticide, leather, paper or cloth. It is leather, paper or cloth. Dash present in the upper atmosphere protects us from harmful UV rays of the sun. Okay, fill in the blanks. The gas ozone. Okay, okay. The dash components of environment are light, wind and water. They are the abiotic components. The waste which is degraded by microorganism is biodegradable. Dash are responsible for depletion of ozone layer, greenhouse, and the carbon dioxide is a CFC gas. Okay. Now, write T for true and F for false statements. Human activities are the main factors behind all types of pollution. Yes, indeed, they are. The ultimate source of energy for organisms is sun. Absolutely true. DDT is a biodegradable waste? No. It is used in fertilizers. It is not a biodegradable waste. Save electricity by using bulbs? No. You must use CFLs instead of bulbs. The thinning of ozone layer causes skin cancer? Absolutely true. Take the correct option. Ozone hole was first noticed over equator or Antarctica. It was Antarctica. UV radiations affect human beings by causing skin cancer or damage to lungs. It is skin cancer. CFL or CFC are the chemicals used in refrigerators and air conditioners. It is CFC. In the last 100 years, average temperature has risen by 5 degrees Fahrenheit or 1 degree Fahrenheit. It is 1 degree Fahrenheit. Trees help to clean air or water to clean air. Okay. Now, match the columns. CFC is released by refrigerator. Carbon dioxide is greenhouse gas. Ozone protects from harmful radiations of sun. Spilling of oil into sea is harmful for water organisms, and process of earth getting heated is known as global warming. Okay. Now, write one word for the useless, leftover or discarded material is waste. Decline in the thickness of ozone layer over a restricted area is known as ozone depletion. The synthetic chemicals widely used in the refrigerators and air conditioners are CFCs. The substances which can be easily degraded by microorganisms are biodegradable substances. The chemicals responsible for depletion of ozone layer is again CFCs. Okay. Circle the odd one out. Cow dung, food waste, used tea leaves, sewage, rubber. Okay. So, which is the odd one here? It is the sewage rubber. Plastic waste, leather, cow dung, human excreta, plastic waste. Afforestation, pollution, global warming, depletion of ozone layer, which is the odd here, afforestation. CFC, carbon dioxide, water vapor, methane, CFC. Deforestation, because CFC, because the rest are all greenhouse effect gases. Deforestation, air pollution, water pollution or soil pollution, deforestation. Okay. Now, short answer questions. Read the chapter quickly and start answering these short answer questions. Okay. You have to give 2 examples of your choice. Okay. Each of solid waste, liquid waste and of gas waste. Okay. Gaseous waste. Then you have to classify the following substances into biodegradable and non-biodegradable substances. Okay. Like the peels of fruit, used tea leaves, aluminium can, sewage water, cow dung and pesticide. Distinguish, okay, differentiate and put them in the respective thing, whether it is biodegradable or non-biodegradable. What is greenhouse effect? And then you have to name 2 greenhouse effect gases. Okay. Now, what are the main sources of air pollution? What causes air pollution? Okay. What is the main reason behind it? Okay. Now, what is global warming? Explain that in detail here. Okay. That is a short and a crispy note about explaining what is global warming in short. Okay. Now, long answer questions. Distinguish between biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. So, distinguish between the 2 types of waste. Mention all the points in detail here. Okay. What is greenhouse effect? What are the consequences we are facing due to this effect? And you have to give examples of that. Now, what is deforestation? Okay, cutting off of trees, and what are the reasons behind it or the causes of it? Suggest some ways by which ecological balance can be maintained in nature. So, you can mention around 5-6 points that you feel you can do to protect the nature. Okay. What is pollution and what can be done to prevent pollution of air and water? Okay. Now, critical thinking skills. The Supreme Court has ordered all the industries to be located outside the cities or villages. Why? Because the pollutants which are emitted by the industries, they may cause air and water pollution, and it can in turn be harmful for humans or living organisms. Okay. We should grow more and more trees and look after the existing ones. Explain. Due to photosynthesis, trees are helpful in reducing air pollution. Okay. That is the reason why we must grow more and more trees. Now, case-based study. Our immediate surrounding constitute our environment, which includes everything around us, that is both non-living, abiotic and living biotic components. The abiotic components are temperature, soil, light, wind, water, etc. The biotic components are plants, animals and microorganisms. Both these abiotic and biotic components, they influence us, and in turn we influence the environment. We are the only organisms who try to change the environment to fulfill our needs. Food, shelter, clothing, transport industry, what are these? These are our needs. Increase in human population and advancement in technology in the recent past have damaged the balanced and healthy environment. This environmental imbalance created by uncontrolled human activities has given rise to various environmental problems. So, what are biotic components is what you have to seek the answer from this passage. It's like a comprehension passage for you, and remove the answer from the passage itself and mention what are biotic components, okay? Then what are non-biotic components. All right. Now, life skills. How green is your city? How can you and your family contribute to make your city greener? Put a tick on the things you and your family do. So, what are those things that you and your family do to protect your city and to protect you guys from the pollution or the harmful effects of pollution? So, what is that little contribution that you all are giving towards saving our environment? Does your father use a carpool? That means, if 4 people from the same office, okay, are leaving on the same time and coming home on the same time, do they share their own vehicle on a weekly basis or on a monthly basis, okay, instead of 4 different cars going, okay? Do you use paper bags or polythene bags when you go to market? What type of bags are used? Paper bags, polythene bags, or maybe cloth bags, okay? Do you use natural colors for Holi, or do you use chemicals? Do your elder brother prefer to walk or use bikes for going to nearby places? Okay. Do you tell people not to burn waste? And do you and your family always or sometimes use public transport? So, think about it and answer this. Okay. Let's do something new. Collect information on rainwater harvesting and name any buildings in which you have seen rainwater harvesting system. Okay. Then you have to make a chart on any of the following topics, okay? Waste accumulation and its effect, greenhouse effect and deforestation. So, make charts on this, okay? And you can display it in your classroom, or you can have a small session in the classroom wherein you all are discussing about all these things in detail with each other. Then launch a campaign of no to plastic bags, convince other people to participate in this mission, okay? Now, explore. Non-biodegradable waste is a big problem nowadays. There is huge waste collected that is creating a nuisance. Collect information about various measures that are opted to get rid of this waste, okay, following the practice of 4 R's. Okay, we know about these 4 R's: refuse, reduce, recycle and reuse. So, how is it that you can implement it and save our nature, save our environment, okay? But before you start exploring this, you know what you have to do, right? You need to reread the chapter, complete all the exercises, the activities involved, and then start exploring more. All right, children, get going. Save your environment, save our nature.